this is Jen. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Aussie-Rig-Renos. We're still working on our little Millard and I'm just finishing the prep for putting up on the brand new skirt up on the pop top. So let's have a look at what I've been doing. It's really essential to do some good preparation. So what I've done is I've fitted a new ceiling. So beautiful textured green on the new ceiling. Wasn't cheap, but well worth the trouble. I've painted it all. I've also replaced this skirt, this little side board, I guess you'd call it, and the capping. I will replace the capping underneath when I do the ceiling, which is still to become. So let's have a look. I took this off to have a look because it was really water damaged, but what it appeared is because this corners had huge holes in the canvas, they had run in and gone over the top. So it was just surface staining, but it looks a whole lot better with the bits of offcuts to get this all looking real pretty. It's the thing that you end up staring at for half the time you're in the van, so I figured might as well do it pretty well. So the only mistake I made was I mismeasured for this one where it hooks down here, and it's funny because I had to remove those anyway to put this on, so I'll just move that handle over and it will actually match the other end. So whoever did this originally put them in the wrong spot. Now I'm just in the stages. What I've discovered in having a pop top myself is that you often, where you have the skirt attached, you often get dust and wind, cold air, and mozzies come through this gap. So I picked it up on another YouTube channel. You put the stick on, what do they call it? They call it Econoseal. Econoseal, just weather protector. So we're putting that up there, and that actually shows us where to drill and where to screw, so we're not going to get it wrong. Now I'll be doing this tomorrow because it takes more than one pair of hands and I've got help coming. So it's going to attach up there on the inside flat so that I can screw from inside, and on the outside it's going to go on this. So I'm going to stick that weather seal along the outside edge as well. Now half of the prep in this has been priming and painting the crossbars, making sure they go up and down very well, replacing any screws in the corners so that they're really well sealed, getting all these seals. I found this surface here wasn't even painted and the bottom of it was quite raw. It's got a J-rail there, but all the water was getting into it. So I have sealed, although it looks a little bit sort of dodgy there. You're not going to see it with the skirt, and it's truly protected, as is this corner, essential, and this corner out here. Now you can see a little bit of moisture. You can see that's where the water will sit. Now I've raised this roof. You can see a little bit inside. I've raised it with battens. That's all it needed. And what I discovered was these battens here, where it comes across, were just two staples into there. So it was pretty sad. So I've reshored all of that up, and I'll show you the other end that I haven't done. Look what happens. This is what the Millards are famous for. It hasn't been done because the ceiling's still in one piece. So I'm going to pull that ceiling down, just that part down to here, to the wood, and I've done it over here anyway to check for water. But I'm going to do exactly the same and just bolster this up. Look how much. Let's move back. It really flexes. So if I can bolster that up, it's going to stop this water. Look at that. And it's just going to eat away the paint, and it'll eventually seep in. So that will all be fixed very shortly, and let's get that done. So the other thing I've done while I was working on it, This pop top will go up probably double this height that it's at now. It's sitting at about 450 millimeters. So I got some spare or offcuts vinyl, and I put these up so that it couldn't go higher. So now I've joined to the axle just some ties to hold that roof down, so that the roof is actually sitting at a smaller gap, a lower gap down than what the skirt will be. So it will pucker, but that's okay because we don't want to fully stretch it while we're trying to screw it into the roof. So this is what I'm saying. A little bit of prep is going to go a long way. And I can close this down. I've sort of watched my alignment, so where it's going to join outside. Let me show you with the finger. It's going to join outside there, and it's going to go up and come in that way and be attached. So if we had a look, we want our alignment pretty good so that it comes down and it's not sitting too far inside the pop top. I've tested these, and the roof doesn't need to come really down hard on these edges, because if it does, it means that board is almost sitting in the drink down here. So we want some clearance for water to get away, wind to sweep that away, and I think it'll be a better fit. So stay tuned. I'll finish this up tomorrow when we've got the help and we can get the skirt in so that we can get started on the floor and the front window. Thanks for watching. See ya. Okay, here's day 2 of putting our slip up on the pop top. So we can see we've done a lot of preparation, and here's our slip with its metal rods inserted. When I put the old slip into the canvas people to have this made, I took the old one with me, and they very carefully marked everything. You'll see it's marked right, front, left side, and they did the same with the rods. So hopefully maybe some of the holes will line up for screwing them back in. I've bought all new screws, so they're the older ones in here. They had little washers, and they were like a semi-round washer, had a little indentation in it. The best I could get was these little guys, but they will suffice and stop the screw from pulling through the actual vinyl. And as well, that's where the metal rod really aids in strength. We've also got ready our screws, any pencils, scissors, anything we could need. Got the drill ready and the L bracket, the right angle, just to make sure. So the next step would be with the roof anchored with these two, so that, again, what we were saying yesterday, it's going to be less gap there than what the sleeve is. And that's so that we don't have to stretch it up to screw it into the top. And you can see where I've put the foam, and also the foam on that side, so that no midges or anything else can get through it. So in from the edge here is 9 centimeters I've gone with, and that will clear the cross braces. And you'll notice in the final finish, I've had the canvas people put in these little guys. They're all the way around, and what they're for is some bungee cable, and it's bungee cord to go all the way around and actually pull the skirt in. When you pull the top down, the skirt will automatically come in instead of trying to pull it in. And if anyone's had a pop top, they know how annoying it can be that you've got to quickly run around while you're trying to pull two handles and make sure the skirt's all in, or the slip as you call it. Some people call it skirt, others slip, so don't worry. So that was my little invention, and the canvas people tell me that they'll probably do it to all of them. Now the other tip I want to give you is that you need these brace things, plastic little braces, and they aid the pop top to stand up straight, the canvas, so that it just has a bit of a bow in it. And I've actually recycled all the ones out of the old one, because I found the only place to get those was through Jayco, and they were $6.50 each. So big save. 2 of them are cracked, but I'm just going to tape them together and they will suffice for now. I did note on YouTube there was another video of a man who has trialed using packing ribbing that actually goes in between flooring. So a yellow piece of plastic, kind of like the bit that you'd go in your J-rail, but yellow, and it's solid. And he's cut them and taped them so that they go in a curve, and replace them that way, because obviously he's found they're so expensive. So next step is to actually put this up. While I've got the help, we're going to go with setting it up right and doing the base corners first, then the top corners, and I should be right then just to go around slowly and carefully to screw it all in at the right distances. Try and make all of the screws in at an equidistance. So we'll be back with the next product. Hi, here we are working with this pop top slip, putting it on. Now what I've done is I've done 3 screws in the corners and the same inside up the top. I'm going about that far apart, which is about 3 inches, or technically I used my finger and I just went, you know what, I'm just going to go to just over the second knuckle, and that makes it easier to do this. Now the reason I'm doing them so close is, sorry, I'm up on the ladder so it's a little shaky. The reason I'm going so close is because once I've released the tension, these screws are all that is holding this roof from popping all the way up. It's holding these cross braces at a little higher. I've got it tied down at the moment, so it's making the workability better, and the actual slip isn't stretched up to be able to screw it on. I've already done down this whole side, down here. That took a fair while. What you're doing is you're drilling through the aluminium strip, and if you don't have one already when you took your old one off, I would advise putting a little aluminium strip. It's only that wide, like a centimetre wide, and you've got to pull this back to make sure that that strip is down the bottom of the plastic, so that you're not having a big bag of plastic under here. So you want the strip right down, you see, I've pushed it right down, and you want the screw about in the middle. So around this side, got to be careful I don't walk off the ladder. You can see I've done it 3 screws on each side when I had a helper, and they helped me to just hold it still. You'll notice I've got the bungee cord, and I had these bits added to the slip when they made it. The bungee cord, if you get the right tension, when you pull the lid down, it's just going to pop in every time, and it saves you with that flapping and trying to pull bits in while you're pulling the top down. Okay, so we're going to screw one in. It's quite hard going. And what happens is you end up with all of these shale bits from the aluminium. So you do need to be careful with these because they get in everywhere. So when you're finished, you really need to, you know, sweep these up and get them so that they're not down on the ground for your animals to get in their feet or get in the wheels of your tyres or, sorry, in the tread of your tyres. Just a better idea to keep these all together. So I'm working on a day that's not so windy. As we know, I'm working with the weather. So today we've got a nice day and we've got fine weather coming, but we've got a lot of wind coming. So it's better if I work today when it's nice and still and try to get all the rest of the outside of this done. And then I can work on the inside doing the same, another 4 sides. So altogether you've got 8 sides of doing this. So it is a big job. I decided to just take it easy, spread it over a couple of days. And, you know, you don't want to overdo it because the pressure of drilling into this can actually give you a bit of a sore back. After I'd done all the corners and one side, I took a couple of days off. I could really feel it in my shoulders and my lower back. So work smart. And when you work inside, use a little step stool so that you're higher and you're not stretching up with your shoulders and your muscles. You're actually using your legs to push it up. Right. So now it's starting to come through and you'll feel it pop through. Okay, about to pop through there and then just inside of the wood. You don't want to go too far because otherwise you're going to go into your little slip around and you'll have all screws poking through. So not good. You can also do this with 2 drills, but my second drill has decided not to be usable. Somehow or other, the chuck to open it up and down disappeared. So I'm going hand in this time and it allows me to feel exactly what I'm doing. So you really need to get this in. There we go. So you can see how it's better to do it by hand and then you know that you've done the job well. Okay, talk to you soon. Just a little tidbit, I've taken to a larger trestle. I had one before, but it was about this height, and I found that I had to use my shoulders a lot when I got to this height, painting and doing anything with the screwing. So when you're drilling, especially for us girls, try and find a bigger trestle, make sure you're safe. I try and put, when I'm working, and this is my step off, I try and put something there, like a screw packet or the drill or something, just as my guidelines, and I know I can step between those, but not any further. So now I'll move this around. These are great, these ladders. You can configure them any way you want to. They have all kinds of configurations. So that was a good buy. Second hand, off marketplace, $60. They're worth $250. So have a look around. So I'm going to need to move it down this side now because we'll have a little quick peek. I finished that side and I've swept up all of the crumbs and everything. So still got a little bit of touching, and don't look too closely at my paint job. She was a very old van, and I did sand it and rub it right back, but there was still a little bit of unforgiving areas. So it's looking great, and we're going to go down this side now. Okay, now we've finished on all sides of the top, sorry, of the bottom and the outside, and it's looking pretty good. I'll just hop down. Let's go back a little bit and we'll come around this side. Looking a lot better. So nice and secure, and just out of those 3 sides of drilling, this is how much the scraps were. So I did say before, they're not great to go on the ground or the tyres or the pet's feet or anything, but you also don't want them caught up in this because they're really sharp and they will slice open your beautiful pop top. So if I jump up in here now, you can see we're nice and secure at the bottom, and remember we put the weather protection foam rubber in there. So we're up a little bit here, and you see there's the foam protection rubber to stop any midges or dust or wind or cold coming through. So we're just in the corners. So that will be my next thing, to actually do all the top ones. But because I have rheumatoid arthritis, I take it slow. I will do the outside today, then I'll probably wait a day or so, see how my back is, and then I'll do these ones in here. And at least now with the wind coming up, I'm protected in here so I can work. Now you see how I've got it anchored down to the axles so that it's not up straight. So don't worry about this bow. I've got it pulled down so that I don't have to stretch up as far. So much better. Then the little step stool I was talking about is this little guy. So let's put it down here. And the difference is, if I reach up, I'm this height, and I've got my, let's see, I've got my whole body and back into pushing up high, and all of the impacts going on my shoulders. Whereas if I get on the step stool, I'm just and yes, it's still using my shoulders, but nowhere near as the pressure and the stretch. So work smart. Remember my motto, work smart. And the other thing is, when you go around, you don't want to be going through hard on the outside, because otherwise you're going to come through here. So let's have a little sneak peek. I think I've got one has come through there. Otherwise, I've done pretty well all the way around. So luckily, and that's what you want. Yeah, luckily, everything is by good measure, I think. That's why you need to determine your width here of that for your screws. So while the others were a little bit longer, I thought that there was the chance, especially when I'd replaced this, there was the chance they could have popped through and be proud through here and damage all of this work. So that's why I got slightly shorter screws. Now, the other thing that we've got to discuss too is this. So that will have to go folded over. I'll work out exactly the right way, and it'll have a corner screw in there. So it'll be a longer corner screw to go in there. So we'll address that in the next video. Thanks heaps for watching. I had a look on YouTube and I could not find one video covering this, how to actually put a pop top slip or skirt back on. So I hope that this helps lots and lots of people, especially you girls out there that just want to have a go and make their rig pretty. Stay tuned to the next one. to the next video. We finally finished all of the top of the skirt and it's looking really good. Got it in. We've got the corners to do. See how you can see light? Okay, so we've got to put a screw, a longer screw into those corners, and that will be all. I've used the old supports for here, the plastic strips, the curved, and I found 2 were cracked, so I've got to buy another couple. This one doesn't have one, so I chose to put them in the corners that needed it, like this one, support, whereas this one goes up. Oh no, I did put one in there. It's missing one here that goes up really easily. So it's looking fantastic. And I just wanted to show you, this is what I used. The Econoseal to go up first. So it is 3 to 6 mil and it's 5 meters, and I chose the white. You can get it grey. Then these are the screws, self-tappers. That's the size, and here's the washers. So I went through 4 packets and 8 packets of that. I've ended up with the 1. So there you go, 3 packets of 100. So it was 300. There's a few left, I think. You know, don't quote me, but there's got to be 20 on each side, and longer size probably 30. And you've got that top and bottom. So here we are with the final finished product. The corners have all been screwed into those very folded over areas. Let's grab a light. It's getting a little dark out here, and I just wanted to put in this last video. So I really appreciate your support and watching. Please leave me your comments, and hope that this helps others out there that are looking to do this and just want to do it without failing along the way. These things are too costly to waste money on. So you can see it's standing up a little bit stronger. This has just popped up by itself, so it can go up a lot higher than that, you know, to stand up. Let's see if I just sit it up, and you've got your corner struts, but I kind of like it like this. The zippers and everything come down really, really well. And so we'll step back. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. My next video coming up will be starting the interior of the van and the replacement of this window, which is identical to one of these. So we'll be cutting the aluminium, redoing all of the timber work around it, gutting this area, fixing up the roof, and shoring up lots of different things. And then the very inside of the van takes over. It'll be the walls, the insulation, and then the building of the furniture and the shower toilet. Hope to see you again soon. Again, leave me your comments. I love to hear your thoughts. Stay tuned. Cheers.